Hi, welcome to my second video on Arduino Yun. At least that's the way I pronounce it. Last time I had some problems getting into this interface, and I found out why that is. Unfortunately, Arduino is split up in company, and apparently there's an Arduino.cc and Arduino.org. They both produce the Arduino Yun with slight differences, and one of the differences is that the password of the web interface of the .cc is Arduino, and the password for the .org interface is Dog Hunter, standard passwords. And since I have as a password Dog Hunter, it is the .org instead of the .cc. I had no idea about that, but I just found that out. Then to the interface, because if you see my other videos in which I work over the network, you may have noticed that I use the internal web IP address 10.0, and this is 192.168.240. I don't think that is particularly nice, although a laptop has the advantage that it can do wired and wireless at the same time, which is exactly the reason that this is actually working right now. But I want to change that. So first of all, I will keep the board name the same. Or will I? Yeah, for now. Then as a password, and I'm not gonna reveal the password to you, since this is an Internet of Things, and you might be able to reach it, which is a breach of my security. Then configure wireless, I'm not going to do that yet, for the same reason. So this is one board configuration, and what I wonder is if this password will be the web panel password. So I'm going to configure and restart and see what happens. And it needs wireless name. Okay. And I need to select a Wi-Fi network, unless I say I don't want to configure a wireless network. What would that be? That's an interesting question. Let me think. I think it won't hurt to actually select and configure a wireless network. So let's just do that. then it goes to my own network, provided I typed everything incorrectly. And it is connected. The question is to which one. And I think I did it a little bit wrong, but we'll see. Because my own network is not the wireless network. Is it? I think this is going to fail, to be honest. They're different networks, and I didn't change the DHCP of which the Yun is Yun is running. So in that case I'll have to reset the board. Another unintended experience. We'll see what happens. And this is always boring. Please connect your computer. And what happens when it reaches this part? You'll find me here. Do I? However, it is connected to another one that I do not want. Is there the Arduino? That's a very good question. And right now I don't see it, so I figure that that idea has gone wrong, i.e. back to the drawing table, because I don't see the Arduino anymore. Oops. It's still sending a request to it, but it won't work. And yeah, right. End of this very short-lived experiment. After some searching around, because there has to be a factory reset, as there is on any device, I found out I have to press the wireless reset button for 5 seconds in order to restore all defaults. So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then see if this will help me out. And then of course I will have to be able to connect to the Arduino. and so far it isn't. No, I do not want that. And this is simply not possible without getting the correct IP address or network. So I can't do this. It seems that I concluded too hastily that I wasn't there, because it is there again. I connect to it. I'm connected. And here I am again. So now it says I have an invalid password. So I am going to try the password I said earlier, and that works. So it has no longer the dog hunter password. I am back in game, and a problem is now to make sure that I lose this password, this IP address, because with this IP address I can't possibly use it over my network, which I do want to. Not over my entire network, that is. So this is this. It says connected. Alright, fine with me. Ethernet 1 is disconnected, which is perfectly fine because I'm now over wireless. However, I need to configure it anyway, but that will be in a later stadium, and I'm talking about wired, of course. Then back to configure. The password has been set, that I did here, but here is a point. Here I went wrong, and so if I select the Wi-Fi, I select a network segment and IP address that doesn't match mine. For more advanced network configuration features, see the advanced panel. Alright, advanced panel. IP address. Leases, yes. Network. I need to disable the IP address, so it has more. It has firewall, routes, but as you can see on the cursor, I can't change this. And this, I believe, system. Administration, software, This is all Linux, I think. Yes, these are kernel modifications, drivers actually. So, going back to network, red indicates correctly it is not connected. This one is. Now we're getting somewhere. What do I want? This is an overview. I could say disable or edit. DHCP, DNS. Active DHCP. And now here I have to be very careful, because if I reset one without change, if I reset the DHCP or disable it without setting the IP address, then I have a problem. I should set a host name. So this is not something you have to do without proper pre-work, which I haven't done. I'm just looking around now. So with all this in mind, I am going to prepare to change all this. While thinking about the whole setup of the Yun, there are quite a lot of things you should think about. One example is this the only DHCP server in the local network? In my case it's not. So I should actually disable it. Another point is, of course, do I want to keep this network address? Answer: no. However, apart from DHCP, there's another point. Excuse me. Another point is, do I want to have wireless active? And where did I go? Not here. All these things are quite important. Right, here I was. Because another thing is that if you are going to decide to use this, and remind, it is an Internet of Things, so it will be available for more people. Going to advanced settings. Do I want to hide the SSID? Do I want people to actually see this Yun on their mobile or on their computer? Another thing that I noticed is country code is USA. I'm sorry, I'm not in the USA. So there are a lot of things that have to be considered before actually putting it to work. And then I'm not even thinking about using the Linux on board, just all these settings, which makes it a completely different category of Arduino than the other Arduino project I have, which is the Mega 2560. It has similar possibilities using breadboard, etc. But because it is an Internet of Things, it's totally different in setup, as you can see. I can program it also using the Arduino IDE, and that whole thing is a new playground. But this is very important, and right now I should say no, it's not the only DHCP. Another point is, which range are you going to give it? And for that I first need to let me just say save and apply here. Alright, and then find if I can see how to change the IP address. Let's see. One thing is, of course, I am on a DHCP lease, which means that if you look at this, I can only reach this address because I have gotten an IP address, and I will show you. With this command I can request which IP address I've got, and this one is my static address over the network, and this one is the IP address lease I've got from the Yun. When I reset and change this address, I won't be able, I have to re-establish a connection after changing the wireless IP address. So I have to be careful on that. And so far I can't find where I have to change the address, because this is the DHCP, but where do I change the IP address? So back to finding out. Apart from all the hassle of getting the Yun adapted to my network, it also has an SSH server, a secure shell, to which you can pretty simply connect through using the root and then choosing the network. With this, enter the password that has been set, and you get into embedded Linux environment, OpenWRT, wireless freedom. And the fact that it says BusyBox here is a clear sign that it is really embedded Linux. But as you can see, here you find everything else. So in a normal system you get, for example, a home directory, which isn't there yet. Not that I can see. So let's explore what is in here. Here, loosely static, and if I go here, so this is actually the wireless, the www interface to the board, and the index is what you get if you put in the 240.1. And if you're not familiar with web interface programming, if you go to a website, then even without typing in index.html, you will get this page. So let's see what's in mount. Nothing. Everything which is mounted, every disk that is mounted, is either in here somewhere, a remote disk then, I mean, or under media. Anyway, this is systems, this is system, libraries, this is very much the system. So, users are not in here yet, not as far as I can see. Let's see what. Oh, very interesting, of course. What's in here? Localhost. This is where the system name is located. It's now localhost. Not saying much. And then we have also what is resolve.conf. Very interesting as well. Name server. So it's search for LAN, and I cannot change this yet to go online because of the simple fact that I'm still, if I say here what is what, this is not connected, this is not connected, this is wired 0, wired 1, and here I have wireless, and this is my IP address, which is not on my home network, so I can't go anywhere. Anyway, this is the first encounter of embedded Linux on the Arduino Yun. Thank you for enduring this second episode on Arduino, and if you like my videos also of the other projects, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube. Visit my website to see what more you can find and how to support my blog. And this is to be continued.